10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Forbidden Door has come to a close. What is good, everyone? It is your boy Politic and Hot, alongside my guy, Mr. Joey Wood. We are Still Steps broadcasting to you on a late Sunday, early Monday morning edition with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming to a close. Mr. Joey Woods, welcome aboard. And we're also powered by Edge of Philly Sports. What is going on this evening, sir?
Little shell shock after the events we just saw. Hell of an event.
Yes.
Highs and lows. Took us on a roller coaster ride, and not gonna lie, a little drained after that card because it was a marathon. It was definitely a marathon.
Yeah, one thing I can say, it was a lot of wrestling we had this evening.
Yeah.
So much. I think one match in particular took a lot of energy out of the main event of tonight's match, and I think those two individuals in that match would agree that this particular match stole the show this evening. But yes, with AEW Forbidden Door ended this evening. Shout out to Tony Khan and to everyone that was involved, and especially the members of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Everybody they came on board, they showed up, they showed out, put on a great event over in Toronto, Canada. And one thing I can say is it kept me up. The Sandman wasn't attacking me. You know how sometimes AEW show can go into the wee hours of the morning, and you might have that one feeling where you might want to fall asleep. But this particular event, this one kept me entertained from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Joey? Oh, did you feel the same way?
Yes and no. It was definitely. I'm not gonna say wasn't an entertaining pay per view at all. But like again, the one, and I don't want to spoil anything, but the one match in particular, kind of after that match was kind of like an energy dump type of thing for me, where it was like I was so invested in the match that after it just, to me, everything else felt flat. Had nothing to do with what was happening in the ring because it was still great wrestling.
Right.
It just, everything else after that kind of felt, I'm not.
Mm.
I mean, I get it, but
could have went home after
yeah,
that match.
yeah,
No, that's funny. But no, let's get right into it. Opening of the card was MJF versus Tanahashi for the AEW World Heavyweight title. This was a entertaining match, so to speak. One thing that did show on my end was, Tanahashi, great guy, great wrestler. I don't know. He might be coming to that point where it might be time to hang it up. His pace wasn't, as quick as the old Tanahashi, would have been. And I know, don't get me wrong, I know he's a little bit on the older side as well. I think he's about 46 years of age. But in the match, it kind of showed, especially going to to the ropes at certain key spots where he was really taking his time, and just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to botch any of the moves that he was completing. Part of the commentary, I did hear someone mention how the ropes are different, what the ring posts are different, where in New Japan there's more of a boxing style with the pads at the end of the ropes. But that was like one of the things I'm like, yeah, they kind of tipping their hand as far as Tanahashi's agility, being agile in the ring. But as far as the actual match though, MJF, with the win, utilizing multiple distractions. First, he grabbed this title, but then the referee Bryce Remsburg, was handing the title back ringside, and so he missed a roll up by Tanahashi, where Tanahashi had MJF for almost like a 10 count. And then the second distraction was MJF, where he almost caused a collision with both Tanahashi and the referee, causing the ref to turn his back, which allowed MJF to strike the ace with his ring, and he ended up scoring the victory. So overall, I thought it was a pretty entertaining match. I mean, it was a no-brainer. MJF was going to pick up the win, but to me, it was a good match, to kick off the show, to get us prepared for what was next.
Yeah.
But Joey, any more thoughts on MJF Tanahashi?
So a couple things for me stood out for this match, and kind of took away from the match a little bit. The first thing being when they made it for the AEW title, because clearly it kind of removed any doubt or thought to any possible outcome of Tanahashi winning, for the simple fact of we know he's not winning the AEW title.
Right.
So I wish it was just Tanahashi challenging MJF to a match just because, not for the AEW title. That to me would have made the match matter a little more. Another thing that happened throughout the match that was pretty funny was, I'm not sure if you picked up on this, MJF scheduled a tweet for 7:15 to be sent out to pretty much celebrate his win, because he was saying he knew he was going to win. So that was pretty funny also, just kind of, the heel being the heel a little more. And then the thing that really made me just lose it in the middle of the match was the start of the match when MJF mocked Tanahashi for the way he walked bold-legged and stuff. That to me was a really good moment too. But I do agree with you about Tanahashi, and maybe his in-ring time is coming up soon. Look at Saturday night with him versus Swerve.
Yes.
Swerve is still at the top of his in-ring ability, and even then, Swerve couldn't carry Tanahashi through that match. Tanahashi was really struggling to get through that match also. And there was some worry about this match. I saw a lot on Twitter and stuff like that. People were worried, saying, not for nothing, but Swerve's a little bit better in-ring wrestler than MJF. And if Swerve couldn't carry Tanahashi through a match like that, what was going to happen with MJF and Tanahashi? But I think MJF did a good job of making it less of a wrestling match and more of a heel trying to get over on a face type of thing. And that really, I think, helped the match move along without having great technical wrestling.
Yeah, I caught wind of the whole, Twitter reaction of Tanahashi after the match. So it almost kind of fell into my thoughts was something that was already being said out in social media. I wish I didn't have to feel that way, but it was what it was. Going to spit the facts, and it's key that his in-ring ability has declined.
I mean, they even said it tonight. Whereas I forget what one of the announcers said it in the beginning of the match. They were saying something along the lines of Tanahashi has come a long way from where he was when he was steamrolling his opponents. They were saying something along the line like he was steamrolling or running through his opponents when he was at his peak. He's a long way from that Tanahashi at this point in his career. I mean, so they're admitting to it on the in-ring announcing also. So everyone sees it.
Right. Yes, it's a no-brainer, but I still got to give him A for for effort for coming out, still being able to to make do, because if I recall, I believe last year's Forbidden Door, he was still relatively injured, although he still fought Moxley.
Yeah.
But so I know there was a chip on his own shoulder, wanting to return and show that he can still display his talents in the ring. So, but at the end of the day, MJF is MJF.
Yeah.
I did catch on to that tweet too, and I did retweet him back. Was like, you still in progress?
Yeah. So I saw that tweet after the match already ended, and I was thinking that match was at least 15 minutes long. He had that tweet sent out at like 8:10.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that tweet definitely came out before the match was over.
Yeah, I didn't know you even had the capability to do anything like that. I
I
was
don't
like,
think
oh,
you do on Twitter, do you? I didn't think you
I
did
don't
on
know.
Twitter.
You know, he might have had a ghost, a
Yeah.
ghost person, put the tweet out there. So make
Yeah,
sure
I
you
know
put
you
this
can do
out
it
there
on
at that
Facebook,
time.
but I don't know if you can do it on Twitter.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Going to have to, find out. Elon Musk, let us know.
Yeah.
Check out the still steps.
He's too busy preparing for
Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Oh man. Maybe they'll be at Forbidden Door 2024.
Yeah.
So but let's go into the next matchup, which was CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima in the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament matchup. I actually thought this was a pretty decent match.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, there was going to be massive heat, for CM Punk, especially after the reaction he got on AEW Collision last night. But yeah, it was massive heat, during his entrance. Well, one thing I will say, Kojima, he was delivering some insane chops, which caused CM Punk to go into the timekeepers area. I don't know if that was planned or not, but I think that caught a lot of them off guard during that particular move. But there was some moments in the match where I don't know what Punk got with the whole Hogan doing the hand to the air
So
and,
that
and
was
then doing
so I
the leg
seen
drop
that.
spot.
So that was 27 years ago or something like that. Like to the day, Hogan did that exact move in that exact arena.
Oh really?
Like the exact same date and stuff like that. Like 27 years ago exactly. So it was
Interesting.
kind of a nod to that.
Okay. Yeah, because it caught me
And he
off
did it
guard.
last night too.
Yeah. I was just getting ready to say he did it on Collision. He actually came out with the yellow elbow pad as well. So that should have said something. My initial thought was he trying to emulate WrestleMania from back at the Sky at what I mean at what was that when he fought the Rock. Well, that wasn't at the Sky Dome. I think it was in Vancouver, but don't quote
Yeah.
me on that. But it just felt like I thought maybe he was trying to duplicate that particular moment from that match since they were in Canada. But
But CM Punk has done this in the past in AEW, where like him and someone else they'll have a key moment in their match that they'll take almost move for move
yeah,
from an old time match. You've seen it a lot with they do a lot with Bret Hart's matches where they'll take it move for move, segment for segment from an exact match in the past. So this is what they're pretty much doing here too.
yeah, if I recall, I remember him doing something like that. Paying homage to Randy Savage, where he was doing the elbow drop. I can't remember the exact matchup, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe because he's been on the sideline for so long, I've kind of forgot that he even did stuff like that. But in any event, CM Punk he did pick up the win. It was a cool ending because at one spot he tried to hit the go to sleep, but Kojima ended up blocking it. And for a second, I'm like, like, wait, maybe Kojima might actually have a shot to win this match.
See, now I never thought he was gonna win, but one of the things the announcer said that like stuck out to me was like halfway through the match they made a comment where they were like, remember, if the match ends in a draw, neither participant advance. So I was like, are they gonna find a way like make both guys look strong and maybe not have them one lose, but right at the very second, kind of like the Adam Cole
Yeah,
MJF
MJF.
match where right at the last second it kind of 1-2 and then the bell rings type of thing. But I think that has to be kept in the back of our mind throughout this tournament now, because they wouldn't have went to it if it's not going to happen. They wouldn't have talked about it if it's not going to be something that's brought up later on down the line. But I think I talked about it a little bit 2 shows ago, right? Collision's first show was last week or week before.
Collision the week before.
Okay, so then last week's show we mentioned how sure they're cheering for CM Punk because it's in Chicago. What happens when the show's on the road and CM Punk doesn't have his people behind him? And we saw it firsthand these past 2 nights. people are, unfortunately, people are still picking sides, which clearly AEW has shown us you don't need to pick sides. You
Right.
should just be an AEW fan. But clearly, people are picking the elite in this situation,
Right.
and it came out here. So I think the fans are going to back AEW into a corner here, and we're going to get heel CM Punk somewhere down the line because you can't keep having him try to be this baby face in every city he goes to. It's just booed out of the building. It's just it's impossible.
Yeah, and that also had me thinking about like his allegiance with certain, tag teams. For instance, FTR. Like FTR are a hot babyface tag team at the moment. But if y'all are going to continue to allow Punk to, partner up like with FTR, but if the fans are rebellion, to Punk, it's like you can't keep, keeping these
Yeah,
teams, these teams from forming, despite what how the fans may feel. So that crossed my mind watching Collision yesterday. Was it possible that would they even allow FTR to even go heel to
yeah.
to join, so that way Punk has
See,
like
I
that
don't think you
faction.
can do that just for a simple fact of it seems like they're really trying to get not Top Gun, Gun Club over as like a legitimate heel
Heel.
group,
Yeah.
and obviously they're going to have to go against FTR unless FTR drops the titles, and I feel like Gun Club is such a hated group
Yeah.
that it would be hard to kind of flip the roles there. But here's the thing: they could easily transition Punk away from FTR for a simple fact of look at this Owen Hart tournament bracket. It
Right.
sets up perfectly for the finals to be not Tony, uh, Ricky Starks, Ricky Starks versus CM Punk.
Yeah.
You could easily have CM Punk. He's so obsessed with Bret Hart and the whole lineage of the Hart Foundation that he uses heel tactics to win the tournament, and it
Hmm.
easily writes itself there. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But again, I agree with you. This match was better than I expected, especially because it's CM Punk and there was so little promotion for
Right.
this. It was like, okay, let's just throw up the tournament, and then oh, look at that, CM Punk's fighting at Forbidden Door type of thing. It wasn't really much of any build outside of this past Wednesday. So considering the little build they had, it was a lot better match than I was expecting. I was expecting maybe like a short 5 minute throwaway. Punk hits a couple of his four moves of doom type of thing. Even though he does have more moves, but
Right.
and that was it. So I was pleasantly surprised with this match.
Yeah. I think most of the matches tonight had to at least go on over what 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes at minimum, on
I
to
would
say
think
the
the
least.
shortest match of the night might have been that 6 man tag.
You're probably right.
That match was
And
pretty short.
I still would have given it probably 10 minutes at the
Let me look it
minimum.
up real fast while we're talking because that's a good point. Every match seemed like it went long.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, but yeah. So before we go on to the to the next matchup, we're we do gotta kick in a quick ad. Powered by our good old folks of EOP. But hey, Pat in the back. Shout out to Pat from Ambler producing our show this evening. If you could cue us up our Sherry's ticket ad, greatly appreciate it. And I'm pretty certain that Sherry's tickets will greatly appreciate it too. Sherry's Ticket Town, great prices, no hidden fees. Whether it's sports, concerts, or theater, Sherry's Tickets have got you covered. And right now, if you use the promo code of EOP10, you will save 10% off. 10% off your next ticket purchase. Sherry'sTickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. Again, www.sherry'stickets.com. Whether it's sports, concert, theater, Sherry's Ticket got you covered. So
So
yeah.
every so
Mhm.
every match on the main card did go over 10 minutes. The two shortest matches of the night were Jungle Boy versus Sonata and Tony Storm versus Willow. They were both just over 10 minutes.
Okay. I was gonna say I know the Willow Tony was over 10 minutes, and that was actually a pretty decent match as well. And we're gonna talk about that
Yeah.
momentarily. But in the meantime, next up on the card was the AEW International Championship match, which was a four-way involving Orange Cassidy, Shibata, Daniel Garcia, Zack Sabre Jr. This match had a little bit of everything, from the dueling chops to the dueling suplexes. Fans, right out the gate was beginning, to chant "Fight Forever" for the four
Hmm.
inside the ring. The ending came with multiple submissions by both Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr., which then Garcia, came in, breaking up the two. And then, that good old freshly squeezed, come
Hmm.
out of nowhere, planting that mousetrap pin on Daniel Garcia, picking up the win, still in the victory and retaining his AEW International Championship. Joe, your thoughts on the four-way international title match?
So I thought this was a really good match. Also, I feel like it was really good booking from Tony Khan because I feel like we had Garcia drop the ROH belt, and this was a good way of kind of furthering that story,
Yeah,
whereas still sticking to that forbidden door, setup of New Japan versus AEW, but it still builds to that July 20th pay per view that ROH is going to have, the Death Before Dishonor. So I think that was
mm,
really, really good booking there, kind of unfinished business type of thing. So, but overall, I thought it was a really good match, really, really good spot where, sometimes when you have a four-way, you have some guys who are kind of just left off outside and not really involved much in the match.
right.
You didn't have that tonight. I felt like all four guys had a fair shot of showcasing their ability in this match, and I felt like all four guys had like their time to shine. There wasn't a time where like, oh, they were just outside the ring, or like going, oh, where's Orange Cassidy? Like you have that a lot where it's like they just disappear for 5 minutes out of a 10-minute match. You're like, what's going on here? Didn't
Right.
really have that moment here, so I really enjoyed this match. Like you said, it was many different styles. You had the seriousness, you had the submissions, but you also had the funny kind of joke wrestling that Cassidy brings into the
Yeah.
match also. So it was a good mix for everyone here, I felt.
And they even had a eccentric Daniel Garcia in this match where he was doing that awkward dance because apparently his pants ripped on
Yeah.
or what was that? Was that during Dynamite or uh, apparently like he had a pants rip incident. So now
I
he's
know
been doing
there's too many
he's been doing
shows
his
between
dance.
ROH and stuff now that to remember which one it was. There's too many.
Right, but it was just funny how he's taking these strikes by the wrestlers, but then he's doing this dance. It reminded me of Alex Wright from back in the day, minus the full pelvic thrust, But I'm pretty sure Pat in the background probably doing the Alex Wright dance as we speak. But no, again, overall great matchup by the four, and they did provide a little bit of a tease as if we might see somewhere down the line maybe a title versus title versus title. Did you catch on to that?
Um, I get what you're saying, especially at the end where like Garcia left and those three were still kind of left in the picture.
Yeah,
I don't know about you either, but I felt like we saw like at the end of the match a different Cassidy than we're normally seeing. When like you had Sabata kind of like trying to hand the belt back to Cassidy like as a respectful way, and
right,
then he like forcefully ripped the belt from him. Like to me that was like that was different. I'm not used to seeing that from Cassidy. So
right.
that to me was kind of a moment that stuck out a little bit. Like maybe New Japan kind of backs off for a little bit, but maybe we see a title versus title at ROH at their pay per view coming up. So, but yeah, I definitely noticed that moment at the end of the match, and it was interesting to me for many reasons.
Yeah, darn, I totally forget about the ROH pay per view that's coming up, and once I saw that spot, I instantly think about either All In or All Out. Like I'm like, you know what? Maybe they'll run a three-way match at one of those two pay-per-views. But then, again with Shibata having the ROH title, maybe there's the possibility that they may take this match over at Ring of Honor. That would be pretty cool because if I'm not mistaken, he's the pure champion, right?
Yeah, but
So then that'll be under pure rules if they were to do so.
you could still do what you're saying. You could just
Yeah.
do like, so maybe if all belts are on the line at ROH, whoever loses their belt at ROH kind of wins it back at All In or All Out type of thing.
Hmm. I don't know. See, that's
They
where
do that. They do that a lot. AEW does that.
I know, but that's where it'll get a little cheesy. Like, come on, man. Like you just lost it, but then you get it back at All In or All Out. Like,
Yeah,
nah. I probably wouldn't do that. But see, looking at the titles, it's almost like guilty by association of knowing who probably wouldn't lose their title.
yeah.
If
That's the reason
they
why
were to
I'm
do that
saying it would
match.
happen is because you think like you're not gonna have Cassidy lose to no offense to either one of these guys because they're both excellent wrestlers, but this run Cassidy's on, it's not gonna be Tony's not gonna allow it to be squandered being pinned by either one of these guys, unfortunately.
Right.
And I don't see. I mean, unless they're going to plan on having Cassidy kind of running full time also on ROH, which is possible, but I don't see that happening either. And Saber dropping his belt, I don't see. I mean, Sabata just kind of finished up what not New Japan type of thing,
Right.
and I don't see Cassidy kind of being a regular on there either. So it kind of like, well, where do they go from there with being able to book that?
Now the only person I could probably see losing the title could be Orange Cassidy, and my reason being would be how commentary has been speaking about his injuries that he's been suffering over the last few months. So it's almost like they're teasing to that point, like, all right, he's going to get injured to the point where he could probably lose that title. So he might be the person out of the three that I could see maybe dropping the title. But then again, at the same time, Shibata, we don't know how long he'll be, here in the U.S. Eventually he may have to go back to New Japan, or Zack
So I
Sabre.
thought he was done with New Japan.
Is he?
Because I thought they weren't giving him the freedom to wrestle as much as Tony was because of the injury.
Oh, you know what? You know what? You're right. You're totally right. That's my mistake. Yeah. So that's why he's on a U.S. circuit now, because he has that freelance to be able to
Yeah,
wrestle across the board.
which
Yeah.
I
That's
get. I mean, he had a serious head injury that they didn't
yeah.
know if he was going to be able to be in the ring again. Let it go wrestle full time again. So they're kind of hesitant to do that. I definitely understand that. But my only thing about that is, and the reason why I don't think it would be Cassidy is just because you kind of, at this point, this has been a historic run for him. Every week defending it and finding a way to win. Still, it's almost like at this point, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like you almost need like a major return, or maybe like a major like debut of some sorts
Yeah.
to take that belt off him. Because like I feel like it would feel flat if you had someone that's currently on the roster established fight him and win at this
Right.
point.
I thought Swerve was going to be the guy to do
Yeah, I
it.
did too.
Like and I wouldn't have been mad at it,
Mm-mm.
because Swerve he's on the up. Like his name is becoming bigger, you know what I mean, than what it was before. So it sounds like the fans still love him despite that he's a heel, but like, oh yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't do it, but again, who knows? They might have bigger plans for Swerve.
Yeah,
I know we discussed this before, about like the weight gain, but putting on more muscle. It looks like he's trying to establish himself as a heavyweight contender.
yeah.
So but yeah, again out of the three, I don't know. Orange Cassidy, for how long you can you can get these quick wins. Like at some point he's going to meet his match, but I do agree with you, it probably will end up being like a major return, or a big time debut.
Yeah, like maybe like an open challenge type of thing, and like
Right.
if they come out and they win, and then like you find out like they are all elite, like they're assigned talent moving forward type of thing. So that's why
Right.
they won the. But I don't know. It's just to me, I feel like AEW's kind of backed himself into a door. I'm in a corner here where this you've had him win against so many obstacles, whether it was the 30-man battle royal type of thing where he still came out on top. That at this point, it's going to take an extraordinary type of situation to take the belt from him.
Yeah. By the way, as far as open challenges, according to Christian Cage, that no longer exists for the
Yeah,
TNT title. Oh man, he's hilarious. But let's go into the next matchup, which was the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. We had Jungle Boy Jack Perry going up against Sonata. This was kind of again a no-brainer type of match where Sonata picked up the win. My thing was what happened following the match as we again Sonata picked up the victory, and Hook, who was in the corner of Jungle Boy throughout the match, and he was looking out for his guy, making sure he was okay. So he assisted him up the ramp, and then he took a moment to where like he was going to raise Jungle Boy's hand, to get some love from the crowd. And out of nowhere, boom, Jungle Boy blasts Hook with a clothesline. He said, babyface, I am no more.
mm,
Joey, your thoughts on the heel turn by Jungle Boy Jack Perry this evening?
yeah. So the first thing I wanted to touch base on was just the match itself. Um,
Yep.
I, they talked about it a little bit on commentary, and I totally agree with what they were saying. Like, I get you're trying to sell a match and stuff like that, but to say you don't know who a dude is, after you gave an open challenge, is kind of redundant. Like, you
Yeah.
don't need to know who the dude is. You don't need to think he's a worthy opponent. You did an open challenge. You didn't say you need to have this many wins or you need to be this well known to be
Right.
able to challenge. You said open challenge to anyone that wants to fight, and Jungle Boy answered. So to me, that was kind of a silly kind of aspect of the storyline was, oh, well, I don't even know who he is. Well, it doesn't matter if you know who it is. You put an open challenge out there. And then the heel turn to me was one of the better ones I've seen in recent years for the simple fact of everyone involved sold it. You know, you had Jungle Boy after he did it doing the hand motion, like come on, like like kind of like
Right.
taunting the fans type of situation, and then Taz on commentary, just the way he was reacting and the way he was acting as a father first and a commentary second, to me was like, AEW does a great job of blurring the lines. You never know what's real, what's fake type of thing. And that to me was really sold as heel turn.
Right.
Was I mean, hell, they even had after that moment, Taz claimed he had to step off the commentary table, and because he was so
Smart.
distraught. Like
Hmm.
that to me is just like you talk about like good storytelling without having to actually do a story. That was letting wrestling do the storytelling type of thing where you didn't need this intricate story, but it still got the story across.
Yeah, it's amazing how they tell the story. I got to give props to the audience to how they were invested and how engaged they were with the whole heel turn, like how they even acknowledged Taz when he was at the commentary desk after Hook was attacked. Taz, Hook, father son. Like I really enjoyed that part. Also, really enjoyed the part after Jack Perry laid Hook out and how the fans started chanting, "You effed up, you effed up."
Oh yeah, like that was pretty funny.
Like Hook ain't going to he not going to take this by laying down and not retaliating. So it's going to be interesting to see
And I
what
love this from both men. I love it for both men because I felt like Jungle Boy was kind of slipping there a little bit, like into like kind of like just like okay, but where now? Like there really wasn't like a spot for him in the storylines. There really wasn't. But now you can have him and heel kind of feud for the entire summer, and you got them both a storyline going forward. So I really like it for that point too.
True. And I said, off camera, I had mixed views about it only because like you just had this great story run with Christian Cage where you finally, what I mean, was able to become victorious over him. So then you had a next moment where you were supposed to be, going for championship gold. Didn't seem like you were going for a lot of gold. I mean, based on AEW titles, but you had this opportunity to go for the IWGP title. I think that's where they kind of missed the boat. I feel like they should have had some sort of title run, maybe
Give it
TNT
time. Give
title.
it
Like,
time.
I
Because
mean, I
I have an
know,
interesting idea here with this, and it's kind of out of left field. But here's the thing. So Christian did what he did, right? Kind of got in Perry's head a little bit and type of things. Look at Luchasaurus now.
yeah.
Luchasaurus is a champion. Something that Jungle Boy hasn't been able to achieve since he's left them. What
Like
if
Christian Cage tell you, he the champion.
yeah, but what if this is a way of like getting them all back together? Like Jungle Boy being like, okay, maybe you were right, like maybe what you said about me was right, and I need to be edgier to be able to get to that point. You did it for Luchasaurus, why can't you do it for me? I would love it if it went that direction.
If they go that direction, this is nothing but Farouk, Ahmed Johnson beefing
Hmm.
with each other from back in the day to eventually Ahmed Johnson joining the Nation of Domination.
That was like a
Like,
split. That was like a split second, though, right? He was in
it,
it.
yeah, it was, but that's what it reminds me of. Honestly, I just saw a clip of that not long ago, like earlier today.
Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty cool angle to have if they did it like you were right, like everything you said was true, and this is me kind of trying to erase those demons type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want it to go that route. Me, I would prefer Jack to just just go his own lane. Kind of have like that Darby Allen persona minus all of the extreme tactics that Darby Allen does. Like
Oh, we
now
got some breaking news.
what's going on?
At the media scrum, Chris Jericho interrupted Sting and challenged him for a match against the Painmaker.
Oh, really? Is that going to be at for All In, All Out?
Um, they didn't say, but there's a clip, and Jericho's a goofy dude, man. So
Yeah.
so Sting had a water bottle on the table, and Jericho walked into the press conference with his bat and challenged Sting to a match. And then when he was leaving, he picked up the water bottle, pitched it to himself, and then hit the water bottle into the media and actually hit a guy in the face and drew blood.
Oh, wow.
He's a goofy character, but
Hope he don't
yeah,
get
so
sued. Well, might catch a lawsuit for that one.
yeah, but well, interesting to see when that match happens. But
Gotcha.
we'll get
You heard it there. The Painmaker making his return. I guess it's gonna be the Painmaker going up against the Joker since he brought the Joker persona back tonight.
it's gonna be a tag match this Wednesday.
Oh,
This
okay.
Sting and Darby in a tornado tag versus Sammy and the Painmaker.
Hmm.
So unfortunately, and I'll talk
Hmm.
about it more when we get to this match.
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing Sting and Jericho one versus one. Unfortunately, I think this Sting angle is
Might.
building to a Jericho Guevara.
Oh yeah,
match.
I could definitely see that. Coming about. Yeah, because they've been teasing it for so long, especially like how distant they were like during the Dynamite match.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
I
we'll
could
talk about that
definitely see
more
that.
about the co-main event. But yeah,
Yeah,
I saw it pop up on my feed, so I had to discuss it real fast. But
got you. Not a problem at all. So before we go to to the next matchup, brother Pat, if you could queue up our next ad, and that's right, Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers, Ridley Park, PA. If you're looking for a good place, for music, quiz nights, great times, and memorabilia giveaway, dolansbar.com is where it's at, where you can find all these type of activities as well as some good food and good beverages. Again, Dolan's Bar, Ridley Park, PA, 24 East Sellers Avenue. again, stop by, tell the good old folks at Edge of Philly Sports, sent you, and have a great, 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 great time.
That was a lot of greats there, dude. That was
Yeah. look, rolling it off the tongue, making
yeah.
sure it's right. Like, hold on,
One,
wait. Like, I don't want to, mess up anything.
one
you
more
know.
interesting piece of information I just read about the pay per view tonight was it went too long. So
As usual.
a lot of the so this was streamed in AMC theaters also tonight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
11 the stream was supposed to end by 11:50.
Oh really?
11:53 still isn't over. The movie theater cut it
Are you
because they
serious?
closed. So
Wow.
so
That's
yeah, they cut it. So
that's
that
crazy because I know Dave and Buster. I know Dave and Buster's had it, and a couple other locations had it. I wonder if they did the same thing, considering that it's Sunday and they probably all close at a certain time.
so I noticed something about Dave and Buster's was that not a lot of the East Coast Dave and Buster's were showing it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wondering if that's because of that issue. I'm
Right.
wondering if that's because they know that AEW tends to run longer. So if you do it on a West Coast Dave and Buster's,
They stay up
even if it
late.
runs later, that's starting at 5 o'clock. So
Right.
you don't have to
Right.
worry about that there. But yeah, just something I saw just now when you were reading the when the you were
The
reading
ad was
the
going.
ad. I saw that's I'd be fuming if I was sitting there getting ready for the conclusion of Okada versus uh, Brian Danielson, and that just cut
Yeah.
off.
And then you're gonna kick me out after I paid for this. I wonder
Yeah,
what the
say
ticket
that
price was.
it was $25, which
Yeah, I'll
isn't
be pissed.
horrible.
Yeah, it's not horrible, but I would be pretty damn pissed if they would do something like that.
Listen, I wouldn't have made it honestly. If I'm at an AMC theater with those reclining chairs, I got popcorn and soda all night.
You out.
I'm not making it till 11:53.
The Sandman gonna get you.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I don't know about you, but my feet go up. I got some popcorn and soda. I'm not making it.
No, I'm the same way. Like, look, even moments at home on the couch. Like, if I'm laid out, stretched up on the couch, like, oh yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
But I'll catch it in the morning. So, but let's do a couple of quick hits. What I mean, we're gonna try to keep this going too long, and
yeah,
we all still got 9 to 5 jobs too.
yeah,
So, but quick hit. Next match we had the Elite Eddie Kingston, Tomohiro Ishii, going up against the Blackpool Combat Club, Shota Umino and Konosuke Takeshita. Say that name 5
yeah.
times. Like,
The
look,
only
I
thing I
dare
can say
somebody to say
about
something.
the only thing I say about this match is I was shocked at who they allowed to get the pin.
Yeah, yeah. You talking about with Ishii getting the pin?
Yes, I was a little shocked that he was the one that got the pinfall. I guess that maybe it's a way to make up for if you look like you allowed Okada to get pinned to not get pinned, but lose clean pretty much.
Right.
So maybe that's kind of an agreement they came to make their guys look a little stronger, I guess. Because other than that, I would have thought for sure one of the elite would have got the pin, but
Yeah, I was thinking too. Not sure what the storylines are going with New Japan right now with both Ishii and it was that Umino. So
yeah,
maybe that might be like a carryover into maybe like the next event that's going to go on over in New Japan. So that was what I mean one reason why I thought maybe they would have got the pin, but for the most part, it wasn't like one of my favorite matches of the evening. It was a little bit typical as far as like with the spot fest, but again, like the only surprise was the fact that Ishii did get the pinfall. So I don't know if you felt the same way, but
yeah, it's a typical elite match. It's typical do their spots. Sell a back injury.
Right.
type of thing.
Right.
But overall, I thought it was a good match. Didn't think it was great. I thought it was an entertaining match.
Yeah.
You know, but good, not great. But I feel like that's what we tend to get from the Bucks. You know, in the past couple of years is entertaining, not technical.
Right.
But they've never been that, so I'm okay with it.
Right. Right. No, I got you. Got you. Got you. And then we also had Tony Storm retaining the AEW Women's World Championship against Willow Nightingale. This was actually one of my top three favorite matches of the evening.
Really,
Yeah, yeah. I thought they both put on. I actually thought Willow carried this match a lot. I want to say, like, I think she actually carried a great amount of this match, with Tony Storm. But again, you had your distractions, like, then she had Tony had the rake of the eyes, and eventually, hit the Storm Zero to get the 1 2 3. But
I was shocked they allowed. I mean, I know we had distraction and stuff, but I thought for sure we would have had a DQ win or something,
yeah,
especially because of what transpired earlier today with I believe her name was Gillian from
right.
Stardom calling out Willow for a match, which is
Hmm.
like was a pretty big deal. So to me, you have someone calling from another promotion calling her out for a match. Then in the same night, you have her losing pretty cleanly. I mean, I know
Yeah.
we had some like outside interferences, but none of them really led to the victory. You know, it was a clean pin. So I just think that the booking of the ending was a little sketchy to me. But I mean, but are we shocked AEW hasn't really given Willow a fair shot outside of this week with the Owen
Advancing
Hart
in the
tournament?
tournament, yeah,
Yeah,
and I do hope she does go far with that. Do I see her actually winning? I don't think so at the moment, but I mean, you never know. I think she has what it takes to win this tournament, especially where I mean where her level is, with her matches lately. Like, she's been coming on really
yeah.
strong.
I don't
But
know how you feel about this, but Willow to me is a little confusing because like the bell rings and she's this tough, rugged fighter, but then outside of the ring, she's like this bubbly personality. Like
yeah,
it doesn't correlate to me. Like I wish either that kind of translated into the ring a little more, and she was more bubbly in the ring, or she was a little more hard outside the ring. To me, it's just kind of a disconnect between the character in and out of the ring.
no, I got you. I see what you're saying. I think we might get something like that if there was ever like a heel turn, to that level. In the meantime, I don't think there's really much wrong with it. Like, she is what she is right now, and like and it's pretty genuine. So like it's not like it's not going over like with the fans, like, her if her attitude wasn't the way she is now, I don't think she would get over it in the ring, or
But
in the company.
that's my thing is like she doesn't really have a chance to get over because for some reason AEW isn't putting her on TV regularly. There's a disconnect somewhere. I mean, New Japan feels strongly enough better to put the belt on her. But for
Well,
some reason,
I don't think they really had a choice, with Mercedes going down. So,
they still had a choice to put her in the finals.
well, yeah, but the injury didn't happen until the finals, though.
No, no, no. But she still won
Right.
the first, I believe, first two rounds
Oh, right,
to
right,
get to the finals. So
right,
they still
right.
had enough faith in her to main event that pretty big card for Strong
Yeah,
in that match. So that's still more faith than AEW's ever given her.
true. And I think that's probably why AEW does the things that they're doing now, because technically, in the grand scheme of things, she wasn't supposed to have won that title.
Yeah,
But, it happened. So it's like, now you can't bury a champion so much in your
yeah,
own company. So it's like, okay, you pick your spots. She may go far in the Owen Hart Cup, but again, like with tonight's match, she caught the L, but it was because of a cheat,
yeah.
with the rake of the eyes. but I don't think I don't think it lessens her value. Now that if she's, getting like consistent losses, like throughout the week, like on Dynamite, Rampage, or Collision, then it's gonna be like, all right, Tony, like, what are you doing with her?
Yeah.
Like you can't bury her, you
And
know.
I don't know about you, but to me, this match was destined to fail from the beginning. No matter how good the in-ring wrestling was for this match, because I was at the whole time waiting for Monet.
I thought it was gonna happen
I
too.
was so waiting for it, and then when it didn't happen, no matter what happened in that match, it was a letdown to me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally thought like the music would have hit, or even if like the Outcast would have came down, to beat up on
Yeah,
Willow.
she didn't even need to be there. That's
No,
my thing. Is she didn't even have to be there. She could have just um maybe did like a video.
shoot, look, just like the music hit, that roof would have popped.
Yeah,
I shoot, look, I was sitting in my seat. I was like, wait a minute. I said at some point, I said that Monday ain't gonna hit. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
yeah,
And it didn't happen. I was like, damn. I was like, well, I guess maybe all in or all out. Hopefully even by that time, maybe she might, be somewhere a little, at a point where she might be healed enough to be able to go up against Willow for the strong title again.
yeah,
If
yeah. I'm hoping.
it
I'm
look
hoping we get her.
Yeah, if they even allow that to happen on an AEW event. I mean, to me personally, I think it might be the smartest thing to do, considering that this would be like one of the biggest events of the year.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I definitely think it needs to happen. Um, I don't know if they're gonna allow it on AEW, but why? Why not? Why not? You know, we're talking about arguably the biggest card outside of WWE maybe ever.
right,
You
right,
know, in terms of fan size and stuff like that. Why not come together and kind of for all these years WWE's kind of had a monopoly on the business. Why not kind of stick it to them collectively and allow
yeah,
your people to kind of show out on that card?
yeah. No, totally agree. That totally agree. But real quick, let's just jump to that 6-man tag. What was that? The Sting, Darby Allin, and Naito, going up against the Jericho Appreciation
No,
Society.
that was the co-main event.
I mean the co-main event. Yeah,
So that we skipped the Osprey match.
yeah. Because I prefer we just we get the quick hit out of the 6 tag, and then we
Okay,
can
okay.
get the Omega
The guts of
Osprey,
the
and
pay
then
per view.
yeah, get the quick hits out. That way we could spend some time on the final two.
Okay.
But yeah, so we had the Sting, Darby Allin, Naito, Jericho Appreciation Society, and Minoru Suzuki. I thought that again, this was another entertaining match. Again, it's also too a match that I felt like I seen this on Dynamite before. I don't know if you got that impression. Like
So we
that's
saw
how I
it.
felt.
I mean, we didn't see Sting and Darby and stuff like that, but if I'm not mistaken, they were teammates last year on Forbidden Door.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, though, I'll take it every year. Um, they that spot where Sammy did that little spin, and then he laid down on the side, and Jericho laid on top of him, and then Suzuki
Yeah.
ran in the ring and did on top of him. To
Yeah.
me, like, you don't normally get that from Suzuki. So to
No,
see that from him had me cracking up. Like that, I love that man. That man was pretty funny,
I
and he
agree.
did something. Was it last night or Friday night where him and Jericho had the handshake?
Yes. Yeah, it was last
That
night.
that was last night. That to
Yeah.
me was like Suzuki's actually pretty funny, and
Yeah.
that was a pretty funny moment. So these two guys seem like they have good chemistry together. So I don't mind it replaying it.
Did you hear the spot during the match when they were calling Suzuki Dirty Grandpa?
I didn't hear that. They called him that.
Yeah, I believe I heard "Dirty Grandpa." Like it was wild. I was like, wait, what? It's like, why are y'all calling him this? Like it was crazy.
I'll have to check that back. I don't remember that.
Yeah, run it back. I could be wrong, but it sounded like Dirty Grandpa.
Mm.
Like, yeah, that was interesting though. I'll tell you one thing. It was one spot, I forgot who was in the ring. I think it was Sammy Guevara, and he nailed Sting to the point where his head hit the mat pretty hard. I was like, oh Lord. I was like, I hope he's not concussed. Like, cause he had to roll over a few times, and then eventually, he got out of the ring. But yeah, I was like, oh man,
Yeah, no,
it
I know
looked pretty
exactly the moment
bad.
you're talking about. In that match, I know exactly the exact spot you're talking about, and that to me was a little bit of a scary moment.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy, like here we go again. Let's somebody gonna be in the back like Sammy, you too rough.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. All I could think of was Seth Rollins
right.
when he
Oh
did
yeah,
the buckle bomb, and
yeah,
we thought it was the end of Sting's in ring career. I'm
right.
trying to think what move that was. Where when he was doing the hold on Jericho, and then he tried to do like the off the top rope, the move,
Yes,
almost like his arc version of the RKO type of thing,
yes.
off the top rope. He
There we go.
missed Sting's neck
Yeah.
and hit him on the top of the head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, listen, Lord, they about to stop this match.
yeah,
Like, I'll be honest, I felt like that one spot in particular killed a little bit of the buzz because like it didn't look too good. But then, Sting, I got to call him OG triple OG because he took a 630 from Sammy too on the front, on the table. Like,
yeah.
I was like, man, I said, Sting, I said, more power to you, man. You must got on pillows under that gear to keep getting hit the way that he's been getting hit. But any event, Sting, Darby, and my guy Naito, they did pick up the victory for that match. So, and again, overall, entertaining match. We'll see who he will be Sting and Darby Allin's partners next year. But
That's
yeah,
if Sting's still here. I mean,
yeah. I'm
at
about to
this
say
point, I think we're gearing up to seeing, in some capacity, Sting's coming to his end here.
to the farewell match.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could definitely, see a farewell match coming up too. If anything, look, who knows, farewell match might mess around and be Sting and Darby Allin. I
I'd
think it's
rather see. I mean, I'd rather. I don't know about how you feel about this, but a farewell match for Sting. I'd rather a match that doesn't have anything to do with a storyline. You don't need a heel versus face. Sting kind of took Darby under his wing. Why not just let those two guys go out there and have a great match?
right. Nah, I got you. Totally understand. So, but yeah, before we move on to the next match, again, one of our other co-main events, the Kenny Omega, Ospreay IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match. Let's talk about our guy David Archerry Esquire. There we go. Thank you. Pat thought you was asleep back there.
That's how I
I was
thought
about to
too.
say, like, hold on, what's going on here? It's like, nah. But if you were, you go ahead and call David Archerry Esquire. Workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law. David Archerry Esquire has it all for you. Give him a call, 610-565-0300, or you could give him a shout online at www.cherryinjurylaw.com, and the Cherry firm will take care of you. Again, 610-565-0300. David R. Cherry Esquire, www.cherryinjurylaw.com. So we had Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match. Where do I start with
This
this one? I'll
this
let you start this
match
one, Joey.
this match was worth the price of the pay per view by
Yes.
itself. By itself, this
Yes.
match was. It just had it all. It's all. It had the physicality. It had the psychology. It just had everything. it was a great match. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be able to come because in the beginning, kind of started off a little slow, and
Right.
then it really picked up like in the middle and end. And I was saying like, oh, this match, there's no way it comes close to the Wrestle Kingdom match they had in January. I'll tell you
Mm.
what, it came pretty damn close. It
Oh yeah.
came pretty close. Like that one spot where Osprey had Omega on the outside and he was slamming his head through the
Yes.
announce table. Like to me, that was so brutal because Omega does such a good job at selling.
Yes.
Never once did he put his hand up to kind of. He had that much faith in Osprey to protect him that he never even once put his hand up to stop himself to hit that because he knew that Osprey was going to put him in position to not get hurt. To
Right.
me, like that is just like chemistry in the ring together is wonderful. One spot I didn't like was the Tiger Driver
The 91.
91 he did there. I didn't like
Yeah.
that spot. That spot to me. You're talking about putting someone in a body bag or putting somebody in
Yeah.
a
His head was that close. Like I was like, oh, you
yeah.
might not want to do that.
I actually think his head hit. I just think he got lucky. I think because I watched it back like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I think he did hit. I just think he got lucky and didn't suffer any serious damage. But that to me is a move where it's like we're talking body bag or wheelchair for the rest of your life type of situation. So
Yeah.
to me here, I understand it looks good for a split second, but you got to think about the rest of your life here. And to
Yeah.
me, kind of little stupid, I'm gonna say. But overall, like talk about steel steps and steel step show and stuff. That DDT type move that Omega did on the steel steps was brutal. But
Yeah.
overall, this match was very impressive. Definitely a match you can go back and watch 3, 4, 5 times and pick up something different. And Osprey again, class all on his own in terms of playing to the crowd, flipping a switch and going from a face to a heel in a week, like,
Hmm.
and a heel that is genuinely booed out of the arena, like, that doesn't happen. It takes months to build that type of character up, and he did it in a week.
Look, he had the Shawn Michaels Canadian heat.
Yeah,
Like it was just nothing to it. Like I'm like, wait, all you had to do was just swap them out. If somebody, who's familiar with wrestling in Canada and heard that level of heat, but didn't know who was in the ring, you would have been like, wait, Shawn Michaels out there?
yeah.
Like, oh wait, oh snap, that's Will
But, I mean, he
Ospreay.
did Shawn Michaels as sharpshooter too, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically,
The Bret,
Bret Hart,
Bret
the
Hart
Bret
sharpshooter. That's what
the
I
Bret
meant.
Hart sharpshooter, but yeah, but no, like I mean, Sean did it too, mocking Bret
Yeah,
Hart. So Osprey, he did the same thing. What Osprey, before this match, like he said he vowed to make Omega bleed, taste his blood, like he had to taste his back at Wrestle Kingdom,
he
and
never said he was gonna taste his blood though.
yeah, that part got me. I was like, really, dude, like first of all, you looking at your arm, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to lick his blood, and like, I mean, he stuck to his words though, as far as making Omega bleed, but again, like I agree with you, like through my notes, I had the same thing. One of the key moments in the match was when Osprey was continuing to pummel, Kenny's head, into the top board of the commentator's desk. Omega in return, pummeled Osprey, head into the steel steps. Shout out to all the steel step references that happened during that match. I'm like, oh man, it's a boatload on here. Don't
Yeah.
sue, don't sue us, Tony, because we we coming for you.
Yeah, I think we
Like,
even said like let's grab that audio.
yeah, oh yeah. It's like, look, wait till I get my hands on a replay. Like,
Huh.
oh, all that. Like, need all of
Yeah,
that. But yeah. So like that was when he pummeled his head into the steel steps. Followed by that massive DDT. Basically at that point, they were covered in each other's blood and their own blood
yeah,
during the match. And then we had that low life Don Collis, who at one point was ejected in the match, which also
yeah.
pissed me off. Like, how the hell are you able to return to a match that you were already ejected from? Like,
And not even bat an eye once.
exactly.
Like the ref didn't even bat an eye. Like to me, and I get it. Like here's the thing. This is again sometimes where it's the downfall of having these inner promotion type wrestlings is unfortunately like you were in this odd situation where Kenny was one of the few wrestlers who has a storyline in New Japan and in AEW,
Right.
So unfortunately, I feel like this is one of the storylines where his New Japan storyline kind of outweighs the AEW storyline, but you can't have a pay per view and not continue the AEW storyline.
Right.
So you had to have Don Callis involved. I personally would have wished that this storyline wouldn't have bled into each other here because I feel like it took away from the match a little bit. I wish it would have been Omega and Ospreay, and then you continue the storyline next week.
Yeah.
To me, I just didn't think Don Callis belonged.
Yeah. And I also felt robbed. I thought the two gentlemen who were the security guard with for Don Collins, I
So
thought
stupid.
we were going to get get some type of action by them, getting involved, but they didn't really get involved as
I thought
much.
we were gonna have a debut.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a possible tag team, debuting, you know.
I
Like,
seriously thought, and I don't know why did I just thought for some reason. I thought Authors of Pain.
are they free? Well, they are free agents, right?
Yeah,
Okay. That'd have been interesting. Now look, now that you spoke this up, now watch they probably debut like at like Collision or something in like the next 2 or 3 weeks.
they'll be Don Callis will reveal who they actually were.
Right. Like I got two members.
Yeah, maybe they weren't allowed to travel to Canada, so they didn't debut tonight.
Right. No, I definitely could see that. But yeah, let's not, not mention, again with Don Callis returning ringside. He come in distracting the ref, handed Osprey the screwdriver, which Will uses on Omega, and then he's getting ready to hit Omega with his own finisher, and Omega channeling his Terry Bollea, kicking out at one. And
Well,
I was like, oh wow. I was like, I seen this before.
so to me, it was a cool spot, but it was like a head scratcher to me a little bit also, and here's why: is we always talk about how dominant that move is.
Yeah.
That the move should be dominant regardless of who delivers it, because the move is the move no matter what. So for Omega to kick out at one to the one wing angel, to me was like you discredit your own move a little bit.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. But I was like, you know what? Let me not
Because
be
he's the only
too
one that
much
does that
of a
move.
stickler. Right.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's a spear and everyone does it, It's like he's the only person that does that one winged angel. And for you to kick out at one is like, oh well, that doesn't even hurt people. Like
Right.
like to me, it's just that's what it came off as. But
But
that's
that's
probably my only two bad parts of the match was that and Don Callis' involvement. Other
yeah.
than that, this was 5-star, hell of a match.
Yeah, I agree. And like, look, I want to see more. What was this? Our what second or third matchup of the
Oh, we're
two?
going to get more. This is part two. They're
Yeah.
currently 1-1, so we'll get round three probably at in. So this was Kenny's hometown,
Mm-hmm.
not hometown, home country.
Home country, right?
We'll get. I believe Osprey is he Australian or British?
I believe he's British because he was part of the what was the what they call the embassy? No, not
He's
the
from
embassy.
he's
The
from England.
yeah, England. Yeah.
So I believe we'll get round three in Wimbledon.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
You know what?
Interesting.
You know what? A main event. I mean, if you announce that today, the rest of the tickets between the English fans because they support their own over there.
Right. Actually, I was thinking about the Aussie Open, that tag team. I know that I know they used to all be with each other.
Yeah, and United Empire.
United Empire. There we
Yeah,
go.
but I think that match round three, if you announce it like Wednesday night, they would push the ticket sales to sold out.
Right.
I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
how important this match is at this point.
Hmm. Man, take it to 10. I'll take 10 matches. Don't stop at a trilogy. Give me 10. Give me more.
So I think we will get more. I think Wembley will end in some kind of flukish because remember now this is the New Japan belt here.
Right.
So New Japan's gonna want if this belt's gonna change hands again, they were gonna want it to happen on their show.
Right.
So
I it'll probably happen at like one of the strong events. Maybe somewhere over there.
yeah.
But then again, what's the next um
Well the G
New Japan
one's about to start.
New Japan?
I'm not sure. I believe they have a pretty big card for Fourth of July and stuff. But then they're gonna start the G1 and stuff, and then
Right. And then we
I'm not.
got the junior tournament in August.
Yeah, here in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to many more matches between Omega and Osprey. I ain't gonna lie, I'll probably watch this match again, probably first thing, soon as I get up before work.
Yeah.
Like I just need to see it one more time because like it was a really, 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 really good
Now
match.
I said it during the match. I don't know how you feel about it, but after tonight, a lot of people were kind of picking sides, right? You're either Team Elite, you're Team Punk. There might be eventually a hard line drawn where it's like Punk or the Elite in AEW. After tonight, there's only one right answer.
Yeah,
All elite needs the Elite. That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
I mean, I get Punk draws ratings for the casuals, but AEW has proven they're not a company for the casuals.
Somebody had a tweet tonight that explained it the best. The E stands for what it does for a reason.
Yeah,
Elite,
yeah.
like, and that's what they are. Like, as much as you know, some can not like the spot fest that they put on,
And then I'm
but
not gonna get it wrong. There is some times where they're cheesy. They're a little cheesy. They come off a little cringy and stuff. But when
right.
that bell rings, they still deliver in the ring and can
Hmm.
still go. So to me personally, I just think you really need to do whatever you can to keep these guys happy and keep them in the company.
Right, absolutely. But yeah, so let's jump into the main event. Actually, before we jump into the main event, was got one more ad to throw out there for everyone. So producer Pat, if you will, please. Hey, so if you into the birds this upcoming 2023 season, feel free to give it the guys at Philly Sports Trip a shot. Along with not only doing the birds ultimate experience, they also have trips the ultimate Chicago trip going on. And this week, the Phillies will be going out to Chicago to Wrigley Field to battle the Chicago Cubs, as well as Philly Sports Trip has Pittsburgh trips going on for the week of July 28th to July 31st. And they also got the ultimate San Diego trip coming up in September from September 2nd to September 6th. Again, Philly Sports Trip is where it's at for all your good trip activities. Feel free to give the good old folks at Philly Sports Trip a shot and they'll take care of you. All right, our main event of tonight, Mr. Okada going up against the American Nightmare. Oh, I'm about to say American Nightmare, American Dragon, Brian Danielson. What
So
was you about to say, Joey?
there was just some breaking news released by the American Dragon.
Oh, really?
He bel the
He fighting American
doctors
Nightmare? It's like,
the
no.
doctors believe he fractured his arm in that match and he'll be on the sideline for 6 to 8 weeks.
What?
Yeah,
You
so
know what? That's probably why the match went the way it did.
yeah.
Like it like don't get me wrong, like it just felt like something was off where
But let me ask
there
you a
was a
question before
clean
you
tap
finish
out.
that.
Go ahead.
Had those matches been flipped, would you have still had that opinion? If Omega and Osprey went on last,
Oh,
and you
absolutely.
were watching uh,
Okada Danielson.
Danielson before that, and you didn't have that match wasn't even in your head yet, would you have been a little less harsh on this match?
Maybe it probably would still been a little bit concerning if the time limit that the match actually went still reflected, going before Omega and Osprey. I probably would still have the same thought because it was like, oh man, that was relatively short. And I felt like, it didn't have a lot of key spots, during the match. Like you had, some moments outside of the ring, and then we had our traditional technical aspect inside of the ring, but it was a clean, clean win. I got to get a props. But now that we know that there's an injury involved with it, it kind of showed why the match went the way that it did.
Yeah,
Like like Okada covered a great deal of the match, knowing that Danielson, was injured. But he had to be able to give his finisher because he got to use his arm for the finisher. So he had to give all he had with the finish,
yeah.
and ended up
So right
Okada
now it's
passing.
what? It's June 26th. So 6 weeks.
Oh, he's not coming back till September, maybe.
Hold on 1 second. So you think so? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Was that end of August, maybe early September,
6. So 6 weeks would put him at like the first week of August.
first week of August?
So 8 weeks would put him at like the 21st of August. So he could still be back for All In.
Yeah, but that's if it heals properly. Like gotta heal properly.
Yeah,
And he also still gotta do physical therapy. So not sure the level of the fracture, but
yeah.
yeah. So maybe he get a second opinion, and he might may feel like he could still tough it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like that's pretty big, especially for someone like him who uses his arms, hands, legs a lot. Being such a technical wrestler,
Yeah.
like yeah, you're gonna want that to properly heal. But man, that
I'm a
sucks
little
though.
I'm a little disappointed for Okada. For the simple fact that, for weeks now we've heard over and over and over again about how good he is and
Yeah,
how he's best wrestling of this generation and stuff. And nothing for nothing, but this match kind of fell a little short of what it should have been. And I'm not saying that's anyone's fault, but it happens sometimes, when you have a match earlier in the card that did tear the house down the way it is, it's bound to happen.
right.
And I just think that because of that, this match didn't really allow fans to see what Okada really was. This is just only the second time like really being in the focus of the American audience like this.
Yeah,
And if this is what their people don't see him on New Japan and only see him here, and this is what they're taking away, it's like, well, what's the hype?
yeah,
If so to me that like was a little bit of disappointment for Okada's standpoint.
yeah. My question now is, what is Okada's AEW record? Because I don't recall him ever getting a win.
What happened
Any.
last year for Forbidden Door?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I'm trying to remember who he even fought last year.
Oh, I'm looking it up.
Yeah, because I'm
He was
like,
in that. He was in that 4-way. Jay
oh,
White versus Hangman versus Okada versus Adam Cole for the heavyweight championship.
that's right. And so that was an L. So yeah, so what's that? That's what he
He's
0
0
and
2.
2 on AEW turf. Yeah, that's not a good look at all. And you lost clean, but you kind of got an asterisk next to that because you had to cut the match short
Yeah,
because of what Danielson could do so much. With one arm.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that's not a good look.
yeah. Another thing to think about is right before this card started, we got news that Adam
Mhm.
Cole was sick and pulled from it. Just think this card went to almost past 12 o'clock,
Right.
and that was with the match cut. Like,
Right.
a little disappointed to see that match though. That match probably would have been a stiff, hard hitting match.
I think they're gonna hold on to that match. I I think that might be one that they might even allow it to go to New Japan Strong.
I wouldn't mind it because listen, for people who aren't familiar with Tom Lawler, this guy can go in the ring. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, darn, it's a bummer to hear that Brian Danielson actually did suffer a legit injury. Like, I mean, it makes sense though, because it was like, wow, this is it. Like,
yeah,
Okada loses clean, like just like that.
I
Like,
I thought for sure BCC was going to be involved.
same. Yeah, I thought they would get involved. I thought it would have been like one of those, kind of like that Avengers finish like we had a couple of weeks ago with AEW Dynamite, like when everybody was coming out.
Yeah,
Like I thought
like
maybe
reminds me of the that one SmackDown where it was like Undertaker came out and then Kurt Angle came out. I forget
yeah,
what match it was, but yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think and then yeah, I don't know. It was really confusing booking the main event.
yeah, yeah. No, if looking back at it now, and if I were Tony Khan, he probably like, you know what, maybe I should have allowed Omega Osprey to close it out. But I guess too, they probably didn't want to close it out with someone from another company getting the win.
Yeah,
That's my only thought
yeah,
about
but
that too.
that's I
So that's
mean,
kind of corny.
in a way, excuse my language, that's kind of bullshit. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
Right.
like Osprey isn't like a new person to the AEW fan base. He's been on
Right.
AEW countless times before.
Right.
Um, so to me, it's like it's kind of like a weak cop out. I feel like you deprive the fans because again, they were so involved in that Osprey match that everything else after that kind of fell flat, and that those wrestlers didn't deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the truth. So, but yeah, man. But other than that, man, still solid show. Solid
For
show
a
by
pure wrestling
AEW.
show, if we're looking at AEW, WWE, because nothing top Wrestle Kingdom still to this point, because
Mm-mm.
round one of that was still the best match I've ever seen in my entire life. But from a pure wrestling standpoint, this is probably the best wrestling show of the year.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like everybody did their due diligence with this one. So
Even the
I'm
pre-show, Billy and Athena.
Oh man, Billy Starks and Athena. Oh, great match. Shout out to both of them. Like
Yeah,
that match probably could have been on the main card.
yeah,
And even the embassy match with best friend, man,
yeah.
going up against best friends, like swerving them, like they put it on. Like, yeah, honestly, I haven't watched a pre-show in such a long time until tonight. Like, I
Yeah.
literally watched the pre-show and the main show. Like,
Yeah.
consecutively.
Well,
Like,
it's funny because so I was at an event a couple weeks ago with Billy, and I asked her
yeah,
straight up. I was like, "Listen, Tony Schiavone let it slip in his podcast that you're all elite, all elite. We haven't heard anything since. I was like, you just graduated high school. Spill the beans. Like, what's the truth to that?" And she said, legally, I'm not allowed to disclose.
right,
So, I mean, kind of figured she was all elite, but
yeah,
what a way to debut for the card,
right. On a pay-per-view at that. Like,
against the dominant ROH champion.
yeah, I love Athena, man. Like Athena, she need to get her just due on an AEW roster.
See,
Like,
I
I
don't
don't,
want her on AEW. I don't know if you followed her in ROH at all in the past couple of months, but she's been so dominant on ROH
yeah,
that I feel like she's getting her dues. Um, I don't want them to ruin this with ROH, what she built on ROH. I don't want them to ruin it on the
right.
main roster of AEW.
No, I see. I know what you mean. Like, I just feel like she has what it takes to be on the main roster. But the main roster is also crowded too. So it's like, you're in ROH and you can, you're able to get over, so to
But
speak.
see, I don't see it like that. I don't see it as, I know we're off topic here. We want to finish up the show, but I don't see ROH as like the developmental and
Oh, I don't
AEW
either.
as like the main
Yeah,
roster. Right now, I kind of feel like they've done a good job of making it stand alone.
yeah.
And because I mean, hell, Samoa Joe is strictly ROH,
Mm-hmm.
and Samoa Joe is probably better than arguably a third, if not all, of the roster that AEW has on the main roster. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's just me. But I'll be interested to see what they do with her for the pay per view coming up. It's here in our neck of the woods in Trenton.
Yeah.
Waiting to hear back to see if I can get some press credentials. If not, I'll be going there with tickets as a fan. But hoping to get
Right.
press credentials, I can go to that media scrum.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that'd be super dope if you get it, man. So hopefully you get it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
fingers crossed. Fingers
Ab-
crossed. I will be
Absolutely.
at Collision though. Did get media credentials for Collision, so that's the night after. But
Solid.
there's no media scrum there, so I wanna be able to go to media scrum and ask an off the wall question because I feel like a lot of these reporters give too many softball questions after a card. Like if I
Yeah.
was there tonight, I would have easily asked Tony, um, what was the thought process in allowing Osprey and Omega to go on third
Right.
and not going to the main event after the history they've had involved. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what the answer was.
And I would love to hear that response because the way they were promoting this event, that match was going to be at least maybe second to the last or the last. But
Yeah,
I know they promoted Brian Danielson and Okada to be the main event. But man, Omega Osprey, that's main event all the
yeah.
way.
Here's my biggest thing, and this is the last point I'll make on the night before we end, and I'll let you go to wrap it up. But I get they wanted to do a kind of a spacer match in between, let the
Yeah,
fans kind of get their composure back and regroup, and for the next match, so they weren't flat for Danielson and Okada. But
right.
why did they use arguably two of their most well-known stars to be that filler match? You could have easily put. Um, I'm trying to think of another match that had a lot of people. The elite match maybe in between there or something like
Yeah,
why was Jericho and Sting that filler match? To me that was, or even if you put Willow in there, the women's match there, to
right.
me it was just confusing as to why Sting and Jericho and all kind of got the brunt of it and had to go in between those two matches.
Yeah, I thought the same way. Like that particular match, I would have thought would have been maybe like second or third on the bill.
Yeah,
It's not like it really had any type of you know substance
or
that required
storyline.
storyline that needed to be carried over. But I mean,
And
per
the
per the
fans are
breaking
gonna
news
pop for
tonight,
Darby.
right, right, and also too, they pop for Jericho's music and Suzuki's music too. So I don't know, maybe they wanted to save for that pop, but at the same time, like, that
I
could have
thought
that,
it took
that could have
so
went
that match
ahead.
actually. When I looked up, that match actually went 15 minutes. Did not feel like it was a 15-minute match. Did
No,
not feel like they got that much time. Again, I think it was because of the match before it took away from it, and you didn't really live up to the hype. So overall, good show. Some questionable spots in the matches, but overall, I thought a good show. If I had to give it out of a 10, I'd probably say a 7 or 8.
7 or 8. I'm gonna go 8.5.
Hmm.
8.5.
The only
Because
reason, the only reason I didn't give it a full 8.5 or higher is just because of the length. I enjoy wrestling. I love watching wrestling, but on a Sunday night, to ask people to stay up till 12:30 when the card starts at 8,
right,
why not move it up to 7?
right, yeah, nah, true that. But wait, somebody, somebody. Oh no, that's Pat. He writes no Sunday night heat hot.
Hmm.
No Sunday night heat. Look, we already into the Monday night wars.
Yes, Sunday night's over.
Right. So, but yeah, man. But no, overall, pretty decent event. I'll definitely will watch it back. For Omega Osprey for sure. I probably will also watch it back again for the Danielson Okada just to maybe try to pinpoint exactly where Danielson might have got injured. Darn, that's a true bummer though. But it makes sense because I'm like, why is this match seems a little bit shorter than any of the other matches? And I also thought maybe they was on time restrict, but apparently Danielson is legit injured. So prayers out to the American Dragon. Hopefully he can bounce back for the all in or all out events that's coming up in the next couple of months. So Joey, add another one to the books. Anything else you want to put out there into the square circle?
I do
Before we.
not.
All right. So in that case, we're gonna kick on out of here. It is your boy Politic and Hawk alongside my guy, Mr. Joey Wood. Shout out to Mr. Pat from Ambler producing in the back. Till then, we will catch y'all this coming Friday with another edition of Still Steps. Talk to everybody soon. Peace.